Hello, I'm Bob Stickler. I'm the president of the symphony, and I want to welcome you to our announcement. And first, I want to thank you all for your support coming tonight. Those of you who are donors as well as subscribers, we really, really do appreciate you. Without you, the Charlotte Symphony family is simply not complete. So, tonight we're going to have Frank Dominguez, who is the general manager of WDAV, interview Christopher Warren Green about the season. And after that interview, we will invite questions. There is a microphone up in the front. We do ask you, if you do want a question, to go to that mic so that everybody can hear you. Let me just say finally that renewals for subscriptions for next season will be in the mail this coming week. And so we look forward to everybody re-signing up. It's going to be a fabulous season. And so now here's Frank Dominguez and Christopher Warren Green.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody. Keep that applause going. Let's have a big round of applause for Christopher Warren Green. This great concert tonight. Just amazing. We have a lot to talk about with this exciting announcement of the next season, so let me get right to it and ask you to speak briefly, if you could, if there's some kind of overarching theme or some idea about the season that has got you really excited.
There should be, shouldn't there? But there isn't. Frankly, you know me, I tend to sort of program what I like, and also to give a complete diet to everybody, so that there's music for everyone and that everyone likes. There is a lot of new music coming. You had a new composer, I think, tonight, and you'll see there's a lot of great new music, which I hope you now trust me, you will like, even if you've never heard of the composer.
Now, you're starting off the Classics series, Classics 1, with an all-Tchaikovsky program, which for some of us seems like an obvious choice, but what were your reasons for starting off that way?
You'll hate this. I love starting the season with a real blockbuster. And, you know, all Tchaikovsky, it's always going to, you know, do well. And the Hamlet Overture by Tchaikovsky, because we're still celebrating Shakespeare, has never been played in Charlotte. So can you imagine a Tchaikovsky piece hasn't been played? So that will be a first for us. But the idea is that you all go away and you say to all the people who've never been to the symphony before live, you've got to come and hear this, and then they'll go away and they'll all buy subscription series tickets. That's the artistic reason.
And can you tell us anything about the soloist for the Tchaikovsky concerto?
I have been working with a lot of the world's great soloists. You heard tonight the world's greatest clarinetist, Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Where are you, Mike? Oh, he's right back there. He's right at the bar, of course. Michael is a very, very old friend of mine. But then I try to introduce youngsters. STU is the soloist in Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto in that program. And she's somebody I first conducted in Brussels with the Belgian National Orchestra, and she was only about 16 years old. She's not that young now, but she's a real stunner, and for the last 5 years I've been trying to get her, and we got her.
And that program also has the Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 4, so it should be a great way to start the season. Now with Classics 2, you've often had distinguished guest soloists like tonight and what we're discussing for next season, but in Classics 2, it's the first time that I can recall that you have a distinguished guest instrument as well. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, not so long ago, we were very lucky. We were not so lucky. There was a very famous pianist in town, piano, and we didn't manage to grab it, but we're actually going to have Van Cliburn's piano, his Steinway, thanks to the Steinway studio in Charlotte, and our soloist that evening will be playing on that piano. And the exciting thing about that is that the young soloist that evening, with Michael Christie, guest conductor, who I'm very excited about, Benedetto Lupo, was a Van Cliburn competition winner. So that should be a very interesting combination.
And just to let folks know, that concert also has the Beethoven Symphony No. 2, the Liszt Piano Concerto No. 1, lists Totentanz and the Concerto Romanesque by Ligeti. So, a Ligeti fan out there.
Great music.
Now, there's a bit of a Scottish theme to Classics 3, so tell us about that program.
Well, there's a great Scottish descendancy here. A lot of people descended from Scots in the Mecklenburg area. So I always try and do something for the A game. They love wearing their kilts, you see. But actually, I also try to find some interesting soloists, and that concert features a bagpiper. Sir Peter Maxwell Davis was a very close friend of my wife, Rosemary. She was the violinist in the Fires of London with him. I still think she's in love with him. And we both visited him. He lives on Orkney. He's over 80 years old, and he has leukemia. But he lives on the northernmost island of the Shetlands. And we actually visited him in the summer. We were there in his little croft in the Orkneys, getting a fiddle piece, which we're hoping to use with our education project. So that is a piece not to be missed. It really isn't. Sir Peter Maxwell Davis.
And that concert also includes the Serenade for Strings by Elgar and Mendelssohn's Scottish Symphony. Now, moving ahead to Classics 4, there's a rare chance to hear a Bruckner Symphony performed here in Charlotte. So tell us about that program.
We have a fantastic chorus here, as you know, the symphony chorus. And these two Bruckner pieces, the Te Deum and the Psalm 150, are absolutely gorgeous pieces of music, coupled with the Rosenkavalier. As you can see, I try to get music from all over the world. When people say to me, what's your repertoire? I say, it's all mine.
Okay, where am I? There we go. I should have really worn my glasses for this, I think. Okay, the Classics 5 concert features the orchestra's first world premiere in a long time, as I can recall, and it has some local connections, so tell us about that.
I'm really delighted about this. You know, we have some real stunning players in our orchestra. I wish I could feature them all, but I can't. This program will feature our principal percussionist, Leo Soto. Where are you, Leo? Come on out here. Get out, up here. Okay. You all know this guy. Matinee idol and timpanist. But it's more than that, because it actually features a world premiere of a piece which it's not called as a concerto for percussion, but it's written by our own Leonard Mark Lewis, who's here too. Charlottean, ex-Brit, apparently. Up here. So that program will feature, and again, I promise you, this will be a great piece of music. World premiere, new music, and you will love it. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Now in Classic 6, there's a concert that provides a showcase for some orchestra musicians as well. Tell us about that.
Well, again, this one features our concertmaster, Kalin Lupanu, and I'm thrilled that he's going to play the Lark Ascending, as well as the Mozart Concertante, with our principal violist, Ben Geller. Where are you, Ben? There he is. Ben, get up here, quick. Hurry up. Quick, while there's still a call. The trick is, Ben, the trick is to walk on fast and walk off slow. Oh no, walk off... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Ben is a soloist, thanks, Ben. In the soloist in the Mozart Concertante with Kalin, who has had to dash off for important family reasons. But the Lark Ascending is very close to my heart. I recorded it myself, I played it a lot, and Hodinot even wrote a sister piece for it for me. So it's something that's very special to me.
Okay, now in Classics 7, you have a guest conductor, Giancarlo Guerrero, and we have the symphony chorus and a work by Mendelssohn that hasn't been heard in these parts in a very long time.
Well, I'm quite sad about this one because I wanted to do it myself, but you know, I want to get and try very hard to get the very best conductors for our orchestra. And Giancarlo is the music director of the Nashville Symphony, and you know, a good way to get these guys is to give them a concert with the chorus, because there aren't that many great choruses around, so they don't get the chance to do the stuff. So that's how we got him, and that will be a very, very special concert with our symphony chorus.
Now with Classics 8, you've got the Dvorak Symphony No. 7 as a centerpiece, but you also have a less well-known composer to most people, although he's very prominent among contemporary composers, and that's Thomas Addis, I believe you say his name. Tell us about him.
Thomas Addis is a young British composer, I confess. I've just commissioned an American one, young British composer. It's a very short piece, The Tempest, but you will be fascinated by the kind of colours and the music that he writes. Don't be put off by any names you see on my programs that you don't recognise. I promise you, you will enjoy their music.
And you have another distinguished friend visiting for that concert to play the Strauss Concerto for Oboe.
I do. Another very old friend of mine, Gordon Hunt, will play the Strauss Oboe Concerto. He recorded that with Ashkenazi, I believe, for Decca many years ago. I've been trying to do that with him for a long time.
Now in Classics 9, we have the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto, but it's not the ones that often get played. It's Concerto No. 1. So what was behind the choice of that one?
Well, all the Rachmaninoff concertos I've played many times, and they are really good. We did 3 last year. I think we did 2 a year before that. Rachmaninoff's first piano concerto is as good, if not better, than the others. So for some reason, it doesn't get aired as much as the other concerti. But it is really a super one, so there you go. I love Russian music, as you know.
And the soloist for that is Fabio Bedini. That concert also has the Rossini Cinderella Overture, or La Cenerentola, if you prefer the original Italian, and also the Cinderella Suite by Prokofiev. So if you enjoyed the suite tonight, you'll really enjoy the Cinderella Suite by Prokofiev. And then finally, for Classics 10, you're wrapping up in epic style with Mahler. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Good, you're on my side. When I first came, I think in my first or second season, I played Mahler's 4th Symphony, and for whatever reason, the weekend didn't sell that very well, so it was difficult. But I persisted and programmed. We had people coming from all over the country, from the other side of the country, to hear that concert. So I programmed Mahler 5, as you know, last season, and it did do well, and people loved it. So that's it. I've been trying to program Mahler's 2nd, The Resurrection, which I believe is just one of the greatest works ever written. I cannot tell you what the piece means to me. If I get to perform that and I die afterwards, I'll be happy. I'm insured. Where's Rose?
Please don't.
It's that kind of piece. It really is absolutely fantastic. So drag as many people along as you can to that piece.
Well, I know we've whetted folks' appetite, and I imagine there are some questions. I'll remind you there's a microphone down